Hi everybody, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing great today, having a wonderful day so far. I think that all of us can look back in the last couple of years and reflect that it has certainly been a stressful time. And, some people have grown from that and felt stronger because of it, and others have just been overwhelmed. And I think I've been in that, fluctuated between the two. Maybe you have as well. But there's an article I wanted to share with you today, written by one of our bloggers, Noelle Nelson. She writes fabulous articles, by the way, about relationships and about inspiring people as we age to see the good side of it, the positive side of it. And I guess the positive side of stress, is an article is, could 60 be the best time to think about how we handle stress? And she says yes, and the article is about why. And it was really meaningful to me because I was thinking, how can I do a video today that's going to help all of us, through this time, which is overwhelming and stressful, positive in so many ways, but just chat and go back a step and see why women particularly have a difficult time with stress. Now, Noelle does a really good job of talking about the mental, physical, emotional side of stress and looks to research that's been done recently about how women handle stress differently. And when I read this article, it was just such an eye-opener for me because how we process stress and how we manage it really affects our health and our longevity. And we may not think that. It may just be, we feel stressed or we have stomach ache or headache or whatever, but it really does build on itself because we manage it differently. And that's not just one incident of stress. It's just overall. So the pace of our life, of course. I just dropped something on the floor, but it's okay. It's just that the pace of our life in itself is stressful. And, even though some people have commented that, since the last couple of years has been stay at home and reflect and whatever, we've now learned in a way to calm down a bit, not try to do too much, not to overcommit, overextend ourselves. But it is stressful. And the brain's ability to adapt to stress has been the challenge and the journey for all of us, and that kind of brain inflammation and overloading is the primary cause of anxiety, depression, and loneliness around this idea of stress. So, how do women handle stress? She talks about this article. It's in, I think, Yale University. And she said they did this study where they were looking at how women process stress differently than men. So women, this is just by the way, an overview. It's not a definitive, sort of statement of truth. It's just some ideas for consideration. But the idea is that women manage stress by thinking about it, overthinking it about it in a lot of cases. We try to analyze, why did it happen? Why did I say that? Why did she say that? He say that? They say that? Why did they do that? And over examining the stress, like I'm stressed because someone isn't talking to me or someone has not followed through on a promise or, financially I'm having difficulties. We overthink it. How did I get into this situation? What can I do to solve it? And that in itself is stressful. I'm getting stressed even thinking about it. And so this repetitive processing of the stressful event or the stressful feeling is actually what she says is Yale University discovered was the main challenge with women. Men, on the other hand, tend to problem solve. I'm stressed about, finding a new job. So I'm going to find a new job. I'm going to do this, and this. My plan is this, and I'm going to act on that plan, and solution will be made. And it's like men are just they're more focused on problem solving, and so stress and women are processing it, the thoughts and the overthinking it. Now, the process of stress is not a bad thing in the sense that it protects us. It's our brain's way of saying, red flag, here's something that's not in your normal routine. It's not in your normal way of life. It's something stressful. You've got a possible diagnosis, you're going to the doctor, you're afraid of a result of a test, or you've got someone in your family that's going through something and you're stressing for them. And again, that's a kind of another of this continual processing, is that we don't let it go, even if other people have let it go. We'll keep worrying about it ourselves. So this obsessing over stress is constantly kicking your body into this flight or fight mentality. And we all know what that does. Well, I didn't know until I started reading this article, but it's cortisol. It creates cortisol is a hormone that just generates all kinds of stress and inflammation in your body. It's where you get your belly fat. It has all kinds of, health and physical, emotional impacts. So chronic inflammation of all parts of your body, stomach or brain or anywhere, is what causes these diseases that we don't want to get, like cancer, heart disease, and of course obesity. She talks about, actually, Noelle is really good in her articles of always pulling in examples, and she talks about Ruth, what's her last name? Westheimer. Dr. Ruth, the sexy doctor, the one that talks about relationships and sex. She's made her name known on this kind of conversation, but she's 91, and she actually wrote a book, I think it was, but anyway, Noelle refers to how she had so much stress in her life, and she was overthinking it, doing it. And I think she had, problems with her family, her background historically, and she found healthy responses to stress. And then, so Noelle talks about this in the article, which I'll go through them because I think they're really, really interesting. So first, when stress is triggered, like you're stressful, are you stressed about something? Practice, practice going down the problem solving mode. Not to be like a guy or do like what men do, because women are unique and special in everything that we do. And the way that we handle stress is a really important differentiator. I think we have an empathic, caring, loving kind of state of mind that, that isn't always the case with others. But practice going through that problem solving. Write down, rather than overthink, write down what the stress is, why it's bothering you. Try, get to the bottom of it, but don't dwell on the why and the how. Focus on the problem as something that can be solved. So step by step, what are you going to do? First, I'm going to do this. And actually, it's really good when you're talking to people who are going through a stressful time, if they're having like that panic attack that a lot of people, all of us have at some time, is to say, okay, what's the first thing you're going to do? Calm down now. What's the first thing you're going to do? Okay, I'm gonna have a cup of tea, and then I'm going to whatever, and write down and problem solve. That's the first thing. The second thing that Noelle talks about, which I think is we've learned it all this last couple of years, and to understand that stress is a way of life. It's just our life. We are complex human beings. Look at the world we live in. The technology, the information, the input, just the physical and mental overload that we're faced on social media, for example. Take breaks from social media. It's the second point. I actually don't go onto Facebook personally much anymore at all. I really don't. I love to read other people's stories, and I do go onto Facebook, but I'm not a big sharer on Facebook anymore. I just feel I want to be real. And I think those social media platforms force you, or encourage you, not force you, but they encourage you to stretch the truth, to not stay with where you are. And I just feel like there's a lot of complexity in my life right now, and I'm just not going to let social media add to that. Don't overschedule yourself is another thing, in terms of activities. And again, there's another one of our bloggers, Jude Walsh, wrote a great article on this about how we're coming through this pandemic in a new way, a better way. And one of those ways is that we're just not, booking ourselves into things so much. Like, yeah, there's a theater production, there's a musical, there's something, there's an art show, there's whatever we're going to go to. But, what do I really want to do this week? Just one thing. I think that's really, really powerful. The bottom line here is that life is meant to be enjoyed and have fun, and we're meant to be not stressed. Yes, we have to deal with stress as a part of our lives, but if we can think of some ways to actually soften the edges with problem solving rather than panic thinking, and being calmer in our process of creating a list of action items to manage the stress, limiting our access to social media and to toxic people too, things that are just toxic. And if we have a passion for something, we always have watched the podcast, so we always listen to the news items, just slow down a bit on that, because that's just a stress generator, in my opinion. But tell us how you've dealt with them, and what are some common stress triggers in your life, because I know you have some. We all do. And tell us what you do to deal with them. I would really love to know. So I hope that this has been useful just to get you thinking about things. Maybe you're sitting there wringing your fingers right now, like feeling very stressed about something. What are you going to try a different approach today? Hope this has helped you think about it. And if you, if you love this stuff that we do on videos for 60andMe, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. I do 4 videos every week, and I'd love to have you here with me on this journey. And if you've got any thoughts about stress, how you deal with it, please share with your sisters. We have lots of comments usually under these articles, these videos, and it's lovely to know that you're here for each other. It's super important. Take really good care. Oh yes, and by the way, if you want to join our Friendship Lounge and our Patreon supporters group, I would love to have you there. We are making so many friends. We have a Friendship Lounge twice a week exclusive to our supporters, and they are meeting on cruises, they are meeting in coffee shops, and if you've always wanted with 60andMe to have a way to connect with people, join our supporters group, and that might be an answer to your questions. Okay. Anyway, love you all so much. Take really good care of yourselves and stay strong and safe. Be well. Take care.